there was some talk about you playing kickoff return.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and talk about this and what you thought about what Jalen Warren said?
Nah, I mean, it was hilarious. Just the first time I heard it, like it actually took me a lot not to start busting out laughing like in the team meeting room. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just like, what? Like.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Not Just Football. I'm Cam Heyward, and as always, I'm with my guy, Hayden Walsh. Today, we have a chunky episode for you because we have Justin Fields on. But before we get into that, I want to make sure we pay our dues and talk about the Chargers game, and we will preview the Colts game as well. But Hayden, what'd you think of the game?
Oh, great game. I think you have to be happier than anybody because I know we talk about it a lot on here. Stopping the run is the most important thing to you. Honestly, I think stopping the run is more important to you than actually sacking the quarterback. And I think you've got to be extremely happy. Really impressed. How did you see the game?
Going into that game, you look at J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards and what they had been doing. They were averaging, I think, like 195 yards per game on the ground. Thought we made some big plays in stopping the run. Our offense came and played. Got a big touchdown from Justin, a big touchdown from Calvin Austin. I think overall it's a good performance. Got some guys banged up from it, but, another W. And now we move on to the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, I did see some of the injury news today. That definitely hurts. Obviously, Highsmith, and I didn't even realize Corey Trice had hurt a hamstring. But before we move on to the Colts, though, everything like you talked about, the run game, the Chargers offensive line, Joe Alt, the rookie. How do you think TJ fared against him this week?
Man, when TJ gets one-on-ones, it creates a lot of problems for an offense. Early on, you don't really get to see the fruits of your labor. So, you'll get chips from the tight end, the running back, sometimes both, mixing it up. But then when everybody else is eating, like you see, early in the game, I thought Alex had some good rushes. And then once he got hurt, Herbig was able to get some sacks. Then they can't just double TJ. They got to keep moving around. And, I thought we had solid pressure up the middle. Once that happened, TJ got to eat it. It didn't matter who was out there. And, against younger guys, TJ's taking advantage of them.
Yeah, what's it like when you're a vet playing against a younger guy like that? Like, you kind of know what to do, right?
I think you just know your spots. You know where you got to get to. It's not just about what they're going to do, but you're thinking, how can I set up to get back to my spot? How can I, beat them to the spot? Am I watching the jump count? What am I doing to take advantage of the situation of a younger guy who's still learning it out?
I also, man, there was another video or like a picture of him timing that snap count again. And, man, he is so good at that. That's got to be impossible for a tackle to stop.
Yeah, I think that goes down to film study. I think it goes down to him just getting a feel for the game. He's not going to do it early on because he wants to get the feel of it. Doesn't want to be surprised with it. But once he's able to time that up, and especially at home where they got to go silent counts, man, he's eating at that time.
Yeah, no, he played great. Defense played great again. I know you're happy about that. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
A lot of people question what you guys could do on offense if you really struggled running the football. I didn't think you guys ran it well early. Justin Fields, though, really settled down and played great. What are you seeing from the kid, man? I mean, we're going to talk to him. Obviously, we interviewed him. How do you think he played?
I thought he played great. I think, there was an interception, but, it was a 50-50 ball. You had to make adjustments in that, but controlled the game. I thought the offensive line just wore down the opponent. And you need that from your offensive line. It might not be the first series. It might not be the second series. But, the one thing I really do love is, they got an early touchdown on a mistake we made. But our offense came back and delivered 7 points right back. So it never felt like we were playing catch up. They answered the bell. But at the same time, complimentary-wise, defense did the same thing when they turned over the ball. So, complimentary football all around. On the special team side, our punting was, really key and, not letting them get big drives off.
No, man, they answered the bell, and I will say, so that was that a busted coverage? What happened on that? Because I'm like, man, how did he get so open? Quentin Johnson.
Busted coverage. I think a lack of communication. There are things I can't share with you on the pod, but
Yeah, of course.
I think things we got to clean up. When Steelers beat themselves, when the Steelers beat the Steelers, it's a problem. But when we clean it up, we won't beat ourselves anymore.
Yeah, really amazing effort by the defense in the second half. Also, shout out Calvin Austin, man. It's great to see somebody else in that wide receiver room step up. I feel like they've been kind of criticized a lot early in the year, but Calvin Austin played great. 2 big plays. There was a 3rd and 15 early in the game, too, where Justin hit him across the middle, made a great play. And then, man, once he gets an open field, that guy is fast as hell.
That dude is dangerous in space. He's dangerous on land. He's dangerous in space. He's dangerous in water. You name it, he's dangerous. But you look at what he does to that offense. If teams are going to try and take George out of the picture, it's nice to see guys like Calvin Austin step up. I thought Pat Fryman had some big catches. We have to find, one thing I love, last year we did a lot of jet sweeps and just used Calvin as a gadget guy. This year you're seeing more Calvin part of the offense, cross the middles, really making him a part of this offense, and we're paying for it. It allows us to, open up the offense and not just focus in on one person.
All right, so I should have looked this up before the show. I can't remember. I remember 2020, and obviously this year. Is this the second time you've started 3-0 in your career?
Maybe. I don't really remember, thinking about, oh man, we started 3-0. That gets the job done. But I think it's a good start. I think best thing about being 3-0 is a chance to go 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be nice in the building. I mean, you could be 0-3, it could be a lot worse. So you got to be happy about that at least, right?
I don't have my kids asking me, Daddy, why'd you lose the game? So that hasn't popped up yet, but I'm gonna try to hold off the conversation as much as possible.
Yeah, and you got to get wins early, man. You don't want to be chasing wins late. So
No.
I know we're not complacent here and happy with 3-0, but it's better to be 3-0 than 1-2 or 0-3. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Just be happy of what you got so far.
I understand math. I am definitely happy 3-0 versus.
You don't
1-2.
seem like it. You kind of seem frustrated. Okay.
I'm not frustrated. I just think we got bigger fish to fry. We got to keep moving this train forward. If we feel too good about it and want hugs and kisses, that's how you get your ass beat on Sundays.
Okay, that's a good attitude to have. Well, let's go to this weekend. You got the Colts coming to town.
Yep.
Or no, I'm sorry, you're going to the Colts. I apologize.
We are.
You going to the Colts. Anthony Richardson's kind of struggled, but the guy's a freak and can make the crazy plays. So what are you seeing from him in that offense? Obviously, I'd assume they're going to be able to run the football, so that's another test for you guys.
Yeah, that's the big test. Last year, I think we were up 14-0, and then they just ran wild on us, we got to answer the bell this time. Can't say any more clear. They ran the ball with success. Zach Moss actually had a big game last year. He's with the Bengals now, but Jonathan Taylor's playing well. Just watching some film on him. Offensive line, you got Quentin Nelson, you got Ryan Kelly. You got one of our friends or Hayden's teacher's sons in Josh Downs. But we got a challenge. I know they're a little bit banged up with DeForest Buckner being on IR, but you still got Zaire Franklin. You got plenty of capable guys on that side of the ball on their defense that make a lot of big plays. So can't overlook it. Anthony Richardson, great talent in this league. A first-round draft pick for the Colts. It's got some Cam Newton where he's a bigger guy, but he is athletic. He can throw the ball a mile or two. So we got to be ready to, stop all fronts.
One thing I do want to know is, okay, so we talked to Fields, and you'll see this later in the show, but where he juked you out once in a sack, right? he's kind of a smaller guy. Would you rather go after a smaller guy or not? He's not small, but a smaller guy or like a Josh Allen or an Anthony Richardson? What's tougher to bring down for you?
The easier one to break down to is the quarterback who can't move, but
We
that
know
is
that.
becoming extinct.
Yeah.
But I think obviously you want to get a bigger quarterback because it's a bigger surface. Sometimes the shiftier guys are able to make you miss, but it doesn't make it any easier. A guy like Andrew Luck, you had to put your full weight on because that dude could withstand everything. So, I think we're looking forward to the challenge. It's going to be a challenge because he is so naturally gifted. You could pull up his Florida tape. He's still doing the same thing. So, we got some work to do, but looking forward to the work.
He has a play early in the season where he stumbles and then throws it like 70 yards on a dime. Have you found yourself just kind of watching that a few times? Like, if you don't get him down, man, and he can beat you deep. The arm is incredible. The arm talent is there.
Yeah. That's the scary thing. It's not like you can just load the box and say, "Hey, we'll dare you to throw it." You dare him to throw it, he might throw over your head. So, and he's got the receivers to do that. So, we got to get after him.
This is a little bit of a revenge game, though, right? You mentioned earlier about them kind of whipping you guys last year. Is that on the mind of the team, or you guys don't even care what happened last year?
Mike T is going to be very petty with us and make sure we see this the entire week and keep drilling into our heads. But it's a new game, new team. But if you made a mistake last year, you're going to see it this week. And I'm already preparing for that. I've already watched it a couple times. It's already seated in my brain. And so once Mike T gets to it, I'm just going to be fired up from there.
So you know what specific play is coming.
I already know what he's going to. He's going to be talking a whole bunch of stuff, but we are a petty bunch, and
You are.
that allows us to be very petty on Sundays. I'll say that.
If Tomlin is as petty as you
He's way
guys,
pettier. He's
you
way more
guys are
petty.
a match made in heaven. Then
He
because
is
like I
way
said,
more petty than me. He knows how to push everybody's buttons in the same room. There's about 50 to 60 guys. He knows how to push the buttons of everybody. And, he does it from a click of a button. And he knows how to, just give some one-liners. It's funny how he does it sometimes because, like, he might not even be meaning to do it, but, like, he'll just throw it in there and be like, oh, is anyone going to, bite on this? And it's one of those times you got to be locked in because everybody's going to be pissed off after the meeting.
Is this like a presentation? Like, does he rehearse this before he gets to you? So he
Yes.
rehearses it. He knows what he's going to
Yeah.
say and everything.
Yes.
Man,
And it's just gotten better with time because now I think, there's more at the disposal. It's not like you're dealing with 8 tracks anymore. There is time put into these slideshows. So it gets everybody pretty pissed off.
How much has your opinion of that meeting changed over the years? I'm sure early on that's got to be tough to hear him just totally destroy you in front of your teammates.
Oh, man, when you're a young guy, you sit in your chair and you just start sinking and you're like, oh, my gosh, please don't bring up my bad plays. But, like, if you've done something well, you're like, yeah, everybody's about to see it today. But if you've messed up in the game or you're the reason why or you think you're the reason why we lost the game, oh, you're going to be – you're gonna have a hoodie up, not wanting to show your face. It's one of those times that I know I need to deal with this, and it's gonna be good for me in the long run because then I understand I can't make those mistakes, and I'll be more cognizant to make sure those mistakes never happen. But it's growth on all sides.
Do you have one in particular you remember that was like bad?
Well, yeah, when I caught my kick return and didn't go down, he put it up in the meeting. And he was like, "Look at this dude. What the hell was he thinking?" This was the last year I ever played kick return after that. But he went on a tangent, and I was just like, "But Mike T, I got like 11 yards." He was like, "I don't give a damn. Like, get your ass down. You're not a running back." And so. That was probably the cleanest one I can probably share.
Oh, so there are worse ones though.
Oh, there's way worse ones. There's way
really?
Worse. Yes.
Man, Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know. I kind of respect it that's how he does it now. It's kind of funny, and I'm glad that
Oh,
you take it. I'm glad that you know too what play he's pulling up.
bro, in training camp, it's even worse because, he would have this segment in his PowerPoints. He would call it, you're either sipping wine or squashing grapes. And he would show somebody's really good plays, but he would also show the guy getting beat, and that's the guy squashing grapes. And, it gets very petty in our locker room.
So it's basically like bullying you to play well. You better
It's
play
not
well.
bullying. It's roasting you.
It's a
It's
bad
roasting
word,
you.
but
It's roasting you.
it's roast. Okay, roast. Good, better
Yes.
word. It's roasting somebody until they play better. I mean,
Yes.
either you're going to be better, or you're going to get roasted each week. I respect
Yes.
it. I respect
Yeah.
it. All right. Well, you want to go to our game balls and our TFL this week?
Yes, we have to
All right.
go to our game balls.
I'll let you start. Game ball. Who you got?
First game ball. I would like to give from our game, Calvin Austin, having some big catches. Really seeing him in the return game as well. But taking it to the crib from where he was, that was pretty special.
I'm going to go Khalil Mullings, running back, Michigan. Michigan threw it for 32 yards on Saturday and still won the game. They ran a 3-minute offense to win the game, and it was all Khalil Mullins. Linebacker turned running back. That guy is really developed. I think he'll be a pro. Great game by him. I cannot believe Michigan won that game. We watched it together. You saw me going nuts, but I will say, have you ever had your team, or like maybe you've had this was just where you've won a game and you almost feel like this, you're almost like, that's a great win, but that's not sustainable. Okay. It just isn't. 32 passing yards.
You don't think that way.
32 yards is not sustainable, Cam. You're not going to be able to beat anybody like that, but still, that's a great win. And hopefully the pass game for Michigan picks up.
All right. Next game ball, I'd like to give to the Monday night game. Jaden Daniels. Dude went like 90% completion last night. Got his first touchdown to former Steelers tackle Trent Scott. And, he finally started feeding, scary Terry McLaurin. And so, cheers to y'all. Thought Jaden Daniels played amazing in that game. We'll see him down the road, but man, he was on fire last night. Did not look like a rookie. Especially when Cam Britt Taylor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was talking a little bit of mess about how they ran a college offense, and he really, if it's a college offense, you still got to stop it. And so, really answered the bell there.
It's Cam Taylor Britt, but yes.
Oh, Cam Taylor Britt. My bad.
Point stands, and he was 21 of 23, 254, 2 touchdowns, and he ran one in too. I mean, listen, I know why that game ball is, though. That's taking out a division opponent. I know there's a little bit of that there, but still an amazing game. That guy was awesome, and man, I tell you what, that deep ball for a college offense, that was impressive.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Herbig on the defensive side of the ball. 2 sacks, stepped in for Highsmith. I tell you what, that guy's awesome. That is for him to be, I don't want to say the third guy, but man, for him to be a depth piece and now he's going to step into a starter, really impressive. And he whipped the Chargers, pretty consistently all day.
I got a nickname for him.
What is it?
The Hawaiian Punch.
Oh, wow.
Boom.
Put it on a shirt.
Yes.
Put it on a shirt.
The
Put it on a
Hawaiian
shirt.
Punch.
I have to give you credit where I kind of like that. That's pretty good. Who told you that one, though?
No, I just thought about right then and there.
No way.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, the Hawaiian
Man.
Punch.
Make the shirts or make the hat or the shirts,
Ooh.
man. That guy was awesome, man. You got to be.
Yes.
I feel like he's like one of your young guys. You got to be pretty proud of what that guy's really. He's really becoming a great football player.
Yeah, during the game, I can be somewhat of a jerk, and I'm hard on guys. And I remember during the game, I was screaming at him about something. And then second half, he goes out and balls out like that. I think I'm not the reason why he played like that in the second half, but dude went off in the second half. And stepping up for a guy like Alex, big shoes to fill, but he'll fill it in his different way.
Those Wisconsin boys, man, you got some Wisconsin guys on that defense. Golly,
Yeah,
Benton,
the
too,
Badger
right?
boys.
Yeah, man, that's another one. But the Hawaiian Punch, man, you better give him that and let him start making merch or something off that, or
I
make not
know.
just football merch off it. Come on.
All right, now I want to take us to our TFL of the week, our tackle for loss of the week. We view it as whoever took the L of the week, right? And so I got to talk about, Tanner Connor. I don't want to just say it was cheeks that were shown, versus the Seattle Seahawks. But man, it's a tough look, and I'm making sure I strap that belt extra tight so that it doesn't happen in the middle of a game. But also, there's been a lot of talks about taking the media out of the locker room. So, that type of thing doesn't happen in the locker room because that has become a big scene, too. I think the media is, we need to create boundaries in NFL locker rooms. You see it in NBA, you see it in WNBA. Guys they get their chance to get fully dressed, come to these meetings, or come to the media. But in the NFL, it's just there's been incidents that don't pertain to what happened in Miami, but guys need to be fully clothed. I wouldn't go to your job and you're taking a shower and ask you personal questions. That's just a little sketch to me.
I actually think that it would be funny if you followed some of your favorite media members to like LA Fitness, meet them in the locker room, and just put a camera in their face with a microphone and start asking them questions about their job. That would actually be pretty funny. You should do that.
No.
Yes, you
No.
should.
It's not anything versus any media member. It's just you want to be dressed. You want to be. Not everything needs to take place in a locker room. The locker room is sacred to the players and the coaches. I know a lot of people think that it's sacred to the media as well, but I like to think that, there needs to be a boundary set where, I shouldn't be having to explain to my wife why I'm exposed in a video, not given the proper time.
That's never happened though, right? You've never had
Not
that.
personally to me, hell no.
Yeah. But
But it's definitely happened to players before.
have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction on the field? Like no, maybe not that bad, like cheeks out, but like anything that happened with the uniform?
Nah. Isn't it like the Chris Jones thing where he during the combine or was it Chris Jones? It was a player but he was exposed during his run, the 40-yard run.
Oh, I don't remember who that was.
It's
I mean, what they make y'all wear at the combine's kind of insane. I mean, let guys wear some clothes. It's kind of weird.
Well, I'll say this, at the combine, you get on a scale in front of a bunch of coaches and it's like a meat market or something. Like you're literally just like modeling and then you step on a scale and it's like, get off the scale. It's like it's like heavyweights.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Man.
And it's, it can make you feel pretty terrible about yourself.
Well, all right. It always felt like that was a little weird, honestly. So I'm glad. You didn't have to do that because you didn't participate, right?
Do what?
Did you do the weight thing? Like, did you?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you did do it? Wow.
Yes.
Man, that's pretty. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My TFL of this week is the Charger fans. Wow. Man, they are mad at you. Just very, very negative energy sent towards Cam Heyward. I have one tweet here. Hashtag, I don't want to overreact, but at Cam Heyward is the dirtiest player in the league between the lines. I don't care about the Walter Payton Man of the Year. He lives to take good players out of games.
Whoa.
Yep. Cam Heyward injured both Herbert and Alt. He's on the list now. I didn't know you hurt both of them, by the way. I didn't catch that in the game. I know you punched Herbert a few years ago.
I didn't punch him. Don't say that crap, bro.
I don't remember
Don't
in
you
this
start
weekend
that.
you hurting him. I don't
Don't
remember
you
that.
start that.
I don't remember it.
did
I
not
remember you
punch
punching him though. And the final one was, we're a children's show, we're family friendly. F Cam Heyward, but he didn't say F. I will say your brother Corey responded to one of these, and he didn't defend you or anything like that. He just sent a little nice emoji. So the Charger fans though, man, they are really angry with you. And then with Derwin James getting suspended today, They're not happy that you didn't get suspended, which, like I said, I don't know what you did Sunday. I remember the Herbert punch, but not
I
Sunday.
didn't punch him. We even talked, like, me and Justin actually talked about this at the Pro Bowl, like, that year. And I was like, it was nothing malicious. He was like, bro, I didn't even think anything of it at the time. And that was ridiculous. And then now I'm literally trying to make a play. I don't even, like, I go to try to tackle him and I fall over him. And so his ankle's hurt because of me. I don't even know where the Joe Alt stuff, like, damn, like, I can't be responsible for everything. But I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I love this game. I don't like messing with that. You know, you go out trying to hurt guys, that's bad juju. And it will come back to you full fold. So, you know, I have no ill will with you Charger fans. I'm just out here to play football. I'm out here to, you know, get the job done. Yeah, that's all I got to say with that.
Well, they do have ill will. They are not happy with you. But yeah, no, I was in shock. I had no idea those were even a thing. And then, yeah, man. I'm thinking too. They talk about the dirty player thing. I think like your two biggest fines were eye black and screaming at a ref. So you haven't even been fined that much for like hits on the field. So I don't know where the dirty stuff comes in. But I'm also your friend, so I don't think I see that side of you. But
yeah, I'm sorry.
I feel like it means you played well. I feel like it means you played well is what it means, and they're just a little upset about that as well. So who knows?
I don't think I played well, but I know who did play well. Can you guess who?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Yeah.
TJ
And
Watt
guess
played
what?
great.
Yes. The great thing about it is we got a chance to sit down with a guy who played very well, and he's also the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Balled out, and, you know, have a listen to what Justin Fields had to say. It was a great time, and we'll see you next time here on Not Just Football. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Not Just Football with Cam Heyward. As always, I'm joined with my guy, Hayden Walsh, and today we have the special pleasure of talking to a Buckeye from The Ohio State, and now quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Justin Fields. Appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you for having me. I mean, shoot, I'm excited to be here. You know, I've seen,
You are?
like we were talking about earlier, seen a few clips on IG, so
I
to be in a
I
room
dig
and
it.
stuff like that, yeah.
All right,
it's cool.
before we get started, we have to apologize. You know, we had Jalen Warren on for the draft, and there was some talk about you playing kickoff return.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and talk about this and what you thought about what
Yeah.
Jalen Warren said?
Nah, I mean, it was hilarious. Me and Pat were actually talking about this on the field the other day, just kind of joking with Jalen about it. But just the first time I heard it, like, I didn't really know Danny too much at the time, but I just knew, you know, energetic, whatever. But the first time, like, it actually took me a lot not to start busting out laughing, like, in the team meeting room. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just like, what? Like, but I mean, just knowing Danny, that's something, you know, he would say now, like, like how I know Danny and stuff like that. But like, yeah, when I first heard it, I was like, bro, I was struggling, like.
Bro, they had you
my
on
season.
Madden.
I know.
Ready to play.
The Madden
That
freaking
That did do it.
the drop little video or whatever.
Yeah,
that's crazy. You know, have to comment on that. Just, you know, laughing emojis. But it was wild. But
it's crazy.
yeah.
All right, let's jump right in. What's it like to be a Pittsburgh Steeler now, man?
It's awesome, bro. It's awesome. You know, I think just being with y'all and the team has been, you know, great. Definitely a smooth transition. I think the biggest kind of question mark I had before coming here was how I would enjoy Pittsburgh. You know, coming from Chicago to Pittsburgh.
Chicago was fun?
Chicago was fun, yeah. Chicago's got a lot of good stuff to do. So I didn't know how that adjustment was going to be. Of course, I never had been to Pittsburgh before, you know, here. So, I mean, it's been good though. City's great. Kind of when you come from the airport, the first time I was just looking out the window, not really much outside, and then you go through the tunnel, and then boom, everything's right there. It was kind of like a, you know, over expectation thing to see. So it was cool for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. Of course, enjoying the squad, and you know, Coach T's been great too. So yeah.
What's been the one thing you had to adjust to since coming to Pittsburgh?
One thing I've had to adjust to, I think the driving is one. I mean, the mountains are crazy. Like when I first got here, just driving, like kind of where Connor lives, because, you know, me and him live a few minutes away from each other. But just the hills and stuff and the tight turns are crazy. But I think that's one thing. and then everything else is pretty much normal. So yeah,
that's dope. All right, we got to talk about Chicago a little bit.
Okay.
What would you like to summarize your time at in Chicago?
I mean, summarize my time. I think it was a lot of ups and downs, of course. A lot of lessons learned. So I mean, I'm grateful for the time I had there. Met a lot of great people, great friendships that last a lifetime. So it was awesome. Of course, the 3 seasons I was there, we didn't have the season that we wanted to have. But I think, overall time there, I learned a lot personally as a quarterback. I learned, kind of how to maneuver specific situations and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, it was, I got mixed emotions, but I think overall, it's great. You just take what you can from it and just learn and keep going. So,
what would you tell when the first day you got drafted? What would you tell yourself the first day you got drafted?
First day I got drafted, I would say,
like, how would you prepare yourself for going to the NFL?
I would just say, like, don't expect anything. I don't know. I think putting expectations or trying to play out something in your head or trying to, I think we all kind of try to plan out how something's gonna go.
Yeah.
Whether it's a game, whether it's life in general, just anybody and whoever. So I think kind of just, take it day by day and kind of adjust on the run and kind of, worry about the task at hand. Don't think about the future. Don't think about, what's going to happen if, this happens, and really just, play free and kind of take advantage of the day. So I think that's one thing I'd go back and tell myself if, I got the chance to. So, yeah.
One thing I want to bring up during your Chicago times, we played y'all. And I got to pick on you.
I'll say he knows what's coming.
I already know.
I was going to ask, how quickly did he bring that up to you when you guys first started?
Not too quickly. But like, bro, I swear, OTAs and training camp is the most I've ever gotten the ball batted down ever in practice. And I'm like, now that makes sense. Why you pick the ball off and stuff like that. I mean, shoot, it was happening to me a lot. But I mean, yeah, he picked me up. I couldn't believe it, to be honest, because that's never happened to me before. I threw it, and this man just caught it, just snapped. I'm like, what? He caught it? So
I was glad it was a Buckeye, too, because, after the game,
crazy.
I went to him, he was like, how'd you pick that off? And I was like, I don't know. I was just the right place at the right time.
But snagged it. I still don't know how he did it. I'm not going to lie.
But I will say he shook me off a sack, and I was hot after the game. I was like, damn, I'm supposed to have this sack. And, man, you made me look terrible. It was not a good play by me, and I'm glad we won that game because I was hot.
Yeah. Josh, clip that one up. Clip that play where you make him look like a fool.
Clip that one up because I don't remember that one.
Yeah, clip that one up.
I'm sick that we lost that game too.
That's
a
the
good game.
Cassius Marsh game where he bumps into the
bro.
That was a bad one. That was
come on.
What was the feeling in the locker room after that game?
After, we just couldn't believe what happened. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You go down. I think there was maybe like a minute and something left for Ben to come back and kick a field goal, but we go down, score that touchdown late in the game. We thinking it's all over, and then we get a third or fourth and long, and we think the game's about to be over. Then flag, boom, y'all get a first down, and next thing you know, a big play. I think Muth had a big play on the last drive or something like that, and Boss kicked the field goal. So
was that Monday Night Football game?
It was Monday Night Football. Yeah, it was.
That was special. A little bit more on Chicago. How do we feel? How did you feel about the free agency this past year, or not the free agency, but dealing with the unknown that was going into this past offseason?
Yeah, it was kind of tricky for me. I kind of had a feeling that I was gonna get traded. After the season, you have your little exit meetings, and we've been dealing with people, coaches, our whole lives, so you know how to read somebody. You know how they.
What'd they say?
I mean, they kept it pretty much brief. They said, we're in a tricky situation right here, a situation that we've never been in, But we were in the same situation the year before because we had the number 1 pick the year before with the Panthers.
Oh, surprise!
So we traded that. Boom. So it's like, we're just in a tricky situation. Don't know what's gonna go down, and I mean, it's completely two different conversations.
Yeah.
When we're in the same situation. So you kind of get the feeling of, what's going to happen. So at that point, it's just training and just wondering kind of where you're going to go. But, luckily, they kind of, didn't do me too bad by letting me kind of choose where I wanted to be because I wanted to be here. I know we talked a little bit during that time period, but yeah. So I'm just glad I was able to end up here, but during the time it was just tough, especially because I felt like it was milked for so long.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of took longer than I expected to. You know, just knowing that you're probably not gonna most likely be there, and teams filling up quarterbacks, and stuff like that. So it was definitely tough, but at the end of the day, I was just trying to control what I can control and just train and stuff like that.
There was a video of you on IG where you were like celebrating.
I know
what was going on in that situation.
Bro, it was just making a joke.
No, there was something going on.
People always look deeper into it, but it was literally I was emulating. You know how guys on a high school kickoff, they'd be like pumped before the game, like jumping and boom, doing a little jump, the high knee jump tuck or whatever, and smacking their pads and stuff like that. That's basically what I was emulating. And then my best friend Mario, he posted on a story, and I just reposted it. But I know everybody blew up.
Oh, they went crazy.
They thought I was, is Justin going to Atlanta? Is he going back home? Why is he so happy? It's like it's a crime to be happy on social media now. Something's got to be going on. But it was just a simple video like that.
Video blew up, bro.
Video blew up for.
Were there any other teams involved? Was there any of the teams reaching out? You have said you got to choose who you got to go to. Who else was involved in the Justin Fields?
I'm not sure of all the teams, but there were a lot of teams that had already had solidified quarterbacks there, and I didn't want to do that. I think Chargers was one, Ravens was another.
Ravens?
Yeah.
Or Raiders?
Ravens.
Oh, Ravens.
Yeah. Raiders. They talked a little bit. I don't know too much. Who else was in there? I don't know, but a lot of the teams, they already had solidified quarterbacks, and they just got new contracts, so I wasn't really trying to be there because I kind of know how that shakes out. So
Yes, I don't blame you. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so they draft Caleb Williams. You had a chance to meet Caleb?
The first time I met him, he was in high school at the Elite 11. So
no kidding.
Yeah, that's the first time.
What you think about him?
He was light and day better than everybody else. I mean, arm was live, like. It was no comparison. Him and J.J. McCarthy were the best two in my opinion. When I went there and went to go see him in Nashville, they were the top two QBs that stood out to me. So, yeah.
Question on that. Are these QB camps actually helpful, or is it just a whole bunch of hogwash?
I feel like it's different now. I think it's just a thing that you do if you're a top quarterback because, like literally my dream coming up in high school was to win the Elite 11 MVP. Like it was such a big thing back then to where they did the opening and stuff like that, and you wanted to get invited to Oregon, but I think it's different now. I don't think they even do the opening now. So it's a little bit different now, but I don't think it necessarily helps you, but it's kind of just a thing that, is popular, has history and stuff like that. So a lot of guys want to do it. So I think that's why most guys do it. But, yeah.
We're going to get in those high school days in a second.
Yeah.
But, did you see the video of our guy C.J. Stroud talking to Caleb after the game?
Yeah, I did.
Did you have anybody who was a quarterback that just, wanted to help and guide you or gave you some advice after a game?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of quarterbacks. I think Aaron Rodgers is one. We played them in the division a lot, so he would always – give me advice, and coming from a guy like that who's accomplished so much in this league and has been playing at a high level for a very long time. I mean, it's kind of. I think I saw CJ's interview after kind of what he said. It's it's really a blessing just to hear that advice from them, and really you just take in what you can after a game, especially playing a quarterback who's been doing that for so long. So yeah, I mean it's also guys like him. I think he was probably the one that kind of talked to me the most, to be honest with you. So, yeah.
Is there ever been a guy you've been like, man, I'm not trying to listen to what you got to say?
No, not really. I feel like I'm more of an open-minded person to where it's like if anybody has, some sort of advice, I'm open to listening to it. Like I might not always take it in, but I'm definitely going to, listen to the person off rip and kind of see what they have to say and try to, if I think it's going to help, my game improve, then I'm definitely going to implement it in my game for sure.
Well, then let's jump right to high school because we talk a lot about high school sports. Who has the best high school sports or high school football in the country?
Overall?
Overall.
I gotta go with Georgia. I'm not gonna lie. Just we're from Georgia. Like I have to go with Georgia.
Yes.
Like I just have to go from Georgia. Like,
give me a ranking of your top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Georgia at 1. Just biased, but I mean that's an argumentative spot, of course. Then I'm gonna go Texas.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna go Florida,
Yep.
and California.
California, that's 4.
And then 5, I don't know.
Dang, not Ohio.
Ohio? Maybe Ohio.
You have to say
I don't know.
Ohio
I
because you
know.
went to Ohio
I don't know.
State.
Like,
You don't have to.
I didn't really watch too much high school football, but I'm gonna say Virginia or something like that.
Okay.
I think Virginia or the DC,
Wisconsin.
No.
Wisconsin. No, I don't think they have good high school football. I don't know. I mean,
Well, I just bring that up because we have a guy in TJ Watt
Yeah.
who says he could play quarterback. He go back to high school, play quarterback, and win a state championship in Texas. Is that possible?
No.
What
No.
state is it possible?
To play quarterback and win it.
He can't play defense either.
he can't play
He
defense?
No defense. No defense.
Yeah. Maybe Montana or something like that.
Wow.
Montana
He's talking
or
about the
something like
worst
that.
state
Like,
possible.
yeah,
Who said
Montana,
Montana?
South Dakota, North Dakota, maybe. TJ can't go play no QB and win a championship in Texas.
Oh
No,
my
sir.
God, he's gonna
can't
hate
do
me.
He's
that.
gonna get so pissed.
He gets so mad with
TJ,
this
I'm
question.
sorry, brother. You can't do that. I don't believe in you. I don't. DN, that's a different story. But quarterback, nah.
Back to your high school. You and Trevor Lawrence were tied at the hip throughout high school, college. Speak to that, you guys being the top of your position.
Yeah. Trevor, shoot, I was in 8th grade, I think. He was already maybe a 5-star, already maybe had 1 or 2 offers. But, I didn't kind of come on to the scene until, like, maybe my junior year of high school. So I was kind of a late bloomer in terms of that. But, once we kind of got there, you're right, it was me and him 1 and 2. And just that experience, Cartersville was not too far from where I grew up. It's probably like 25, 30 minutes from where I grew up. So it was cool. We had the same, QB coach back then too. So we would, sometimes work out with each other and stuff like that and, go on visits together. So it was cool, kind of growing up in that aspect of it, especially, the training together part, just kind of pushing each other and, always having that competitive side, and then, of course, going on to the Elite 11 and then the stuff in college, too, where we played them 2 years in the playoffs. So it's kind of like a crazy story when you kind of look back and think about it, how we're, grew up 25, 30 minutes away from each other. And
Bro, that QB coach was eating.
yeah, he was for sure.
Is everybody still working with him?
Ron Ville. He stays kind of in the local part of Georgia, so he works with a lot of young kids and high schoolers and stuff like that, college kids and stuff like that, but I haven't worked out with him for a little bit over a year now. So,
Is there any other players from your draft or your recruiting class that went out from Georgia,
like quarterback wise,
or just players?
just like came out to the league?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a good amount. Try to think.
Well, you're thinking. For me, I had Cam Newton, I had Eric Berry, Caleb King.
One of your Steeler teammates, Jonathan Dwyer, was in.
Jonathan
that class, too.
Dwyer?
Yeah, there was a bunch of guys. Yeah.
T-Bob Bear,
Morgan Bishop too was a
Morgan
safety
Bishop,
from Georgia.
Drew Butler. Like, we had a pretty good squad.
Because I know we got some about to look up there for sure.
Got to. But we were loaded.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, the state is good. You're going to get people pissed off that you both said Georgia won, but
Yeah,
you have an
Georgia-
argument.
Georgia
I mean,
won.
there's an argument there. Yeah. If a team of just Georgia recruits played any other state,
Yeah.
they would have a shot for sure.
Are you in GP the same year?
Nah, he's a year behind me.
And
We had
he's from
Samir White.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was there. James Cook. Well, he's from Florida, so
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't count. I guess you're splitting up.
You guys had quarterbacks. Let's
Yeah, we
know.
had quarterbacks. We had Emory
matters.
Jones. Emory was a pretty big. Emory Davis Mills was also from Georgia. He played for the Texans. So I mean, yeah, I'm telling you, bro, we got some ballers from Georgia for sure.
All right. Let's move on to Ohio State.
Let's go in order here. Let's go to Athens.
Oh
yeah.
Let's go to
Can't
Athens.
skip Athens.
We can't skip Athens.
Can't skip.
How was that being a Georgia Bulldog?
It was great, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It was awesome. But like, I do feel like looking back on it, I feel like a reason why I committed there was because of like the peer pressure you get from you grew up in Georgia, so it's like I didn't really know where I wanted to go at the time, but it's like everybody's always just in your ear, and the way that kind of builds up, and just everybody's a Georgia fan in Georgia. So it's like you're going on visits, you're getting mad love from everybody who's there, and people are in school, teachers just talking to you and stuff like that. So I think that's, looking back on it now, I feel like that was a small part on why I committed to Georgia, because my senior year, they won the Natty.
Yeah.
So it's like, with Jake Fromm. He was a freshman at the time, so it was like, am I really gonna play? Nah, you're really not gonna play. I mean, you might get on the field a little bit, but you're not gonna play that much. But Georgia was great, bro. Just kind of being there, being in that atmosphere. The SEC and Big Ten are different. I will say that. I think.
What's different about it?
I think the trenches are different, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think the SEC, the O lineman and D lineman, I think they're built different for sure. Down there.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the biggest difference for me coming from the SEC to the Big Ten. But overall, it was awesome. It was an hour and a half away from home, so got to go back and see my parents whenever, and yeah, it was cool. Got to again meet a lot of great people there, a lot of great teammates I still talk to today. We still got a little group chat going, but yeah, it was cool.
It's funny you bring up being peer pressure. Like for me, like everybody wanted me to go to Georgia. Had a girlfriend, she wanted me to go to Georgia.
Yeah.
Friends wanted me to go to Georgia, but I was like, Georgia wasn't Georgia.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
And so my top two were Florida and Ohio State.
Yeah.
They played in the national championship that year, so I was like, okay, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Right. But I went to the 1-2 game, Ohio State versus Michigan, and that was the first time where you see like cameras on the string floating around. You're like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
You're watching Troy Smith and all these players play, and you're like, yeah, I got to be a part of this. This is just because after the game they won by I think 1 point.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Nah, I feel that, bro.
Crazy.
I feel that.
Like Columbus was just on fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm coming here. And then I met Coach Tressel, and my mom felt comfortable. It was just like I wasn't going anywhere else.
That's a real feeling though, because I committed to Penn State in high school too.
You committed to Penn State?
Yeah, my sophomore year.
What?
I think it was my junior year maybe. I committed to Penn State, but I committed. What made me commit it was when they beat Ohio State when they had whiteout and they blocked the field goal. And I'm just watching at home. I'm like, yeah, it's teeth there. Like, it's turned there. So after they beat that game, I had it made up in my mind that I was gonna go there. But
wow,
of course, that was when I didn't have as many offers, and then I kind of blew up as a recruit more. And but I think at the time my top two were Penn State and Tennessee, and I think Butch Jones, he was about to get fired at the time, so I knew that was kind of going to be a shaky situation. But after watching that game, I was like, yeah, bro, I gotta commit to Penn State. So
wow,
yeah.
And then you make your way to Ohio State. How did Ohio State get into the picture?
Yeah, so shoot, in high school I never had taken a visit to Ohio State, and they offered me when I pretty much knew I was going to commit to Georgia, 2 weeks maybe before I committed. I think Emory Jones, who I talked about earlier, he was in my class. He was committed to Ohio State, but then ended up decommitting. So they tried to hop on, my recruiting, journey late into it. So they weren't really in the picture for me, coming out of high school, and it was kind of far from home. So I was like, whatever, boom. But freshman year goes by at Georgia. Dwayne declares for the draft. So they have, I think, Tate Martell, and they might have another quarterback at Ohio State. And I kind of knew what the position I was in at Georgia, coming in every now and then. And, I think somebody reached out to Quincy Avery. I don't know if you know him, but he's also he was Dwayne's quarterback trainer at the time, too. So we all trained together. And kind of when I found out, Dwayne was declaring for the draft, I knew, they didn't really have a solidified starter. So, I was going to hop in the transfer portal. I was going to go to spring, try to compete for the starting job again, and if I lost the job, then hop in the transfer portal. But after we played the Sugar Bowl down in New Orleans my freshman year, I pretty much knew I was out of there. So but a few days later, boom, kind of got that figured out, kind of knew where I was going, and put my name in the transfer portal. And I talked to Coach Day on the phone and was basically said yo, you're gonna have a really good chance to play and start here. And that's all he had to tell me. I was out of there. So before I got to Ohio State, I didn't visit, I didn't do anything. I said, that's all you had to say. And
so you never been to Columbus before?
Never. In the first 2 weeks I was there, bro, I was literally depressed, because you know how it is. Coming from Georgia, it's sunny. It's sunny in the winter. It's January 2nd, 3rd, maybe. It's still sunny. It's pretty cold in Georgia, but it's still sunny, whatever, sun out. In Columbus in the winter, it's cloudy every day.
Doom and gloom. It's Midwest.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So first 2 weeks, I'm
that's why you don't show up in winter.
Well, I was going to say,
that's the worst part.
You show up in Pittsburgh in the summer. Yeah. This is going to be the same thing.
I'm used to it by now, but it's just the first time making that transition, me not knowing anybody really at Ohio State, and then it being how cold it is and how gloomy it is each day, I think I was literally going through like seasonal depression. I'm calling my dad like, "Yo, Dad, like I'm trying to transfer back. Like this is not for me."
Going to Miami or something.
Yeah,
like that.
like yo, if it's gonna be this bad, I'll just sit behind Jake for a year or two at Georgia. But,
No. Well, I'll say this: another thing you might have been depressed about at Georgia, they tried to do a fake punt with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I hate
bro.
to say it. This is the one play that I think about when you're at Georgia. 4th and whatever, the SC championship game.
We're up 3, I think. I think at the time.
What were you thinking when that happened?
You know how you're a player on a team. You know, Coach Smart is who he is. You don't want to question Coach Smart. But I promise you, on that sideline when he brought that fake punt up, I was this close to asking him, Coach, are you sure you want to do this? I mean, I hadn't been on a punt all year. And I don't know if he didn't think they were going to notice me. Of course, he had to know that they were going to notice me.
Oh, so he drew it up mid-game.
Nah, not mid-game. We were practicing this play all week.
Okay.
All week in case a situation popped up. But just the time, I think we might have been up 3 points. But, bro, I was this close to asking him, like, yo, are you sure you want to do this? But, of course, I'm not playing that much. So I'm like, shoot, if he got better than me, hey, I'm about to go out on the field and try to make something shake. And then play went nowhere. But, yeah, I mean, I was kind of confused by the call at the time. But, bro, I was super close to just asking him.
If
Like,
you look
are
at the
sure?
video, you can see Bama guys pointing at you like they
Yeah,
know it's you.
I mean, they know it's me.
you.
I got number 1.
Yeah, they know it's you.
Like, big, like yeah. So, hey,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, so we get to Ohio State, right? Tell me, was like B. Hart's the OC or the wide receivers coach, Brian Hartline, and he's got these dudes killing it. Every wide receiver he's putting on the map.
Yeah.
What's it like walking into a room where you know you got wide receivers left and right that you could throw to?
I mean, shoot. My first year of 2019, we had a bunch of older guys in the room. We had Austin Mack, we had Benjamin Victor, KJ Hill. Those were the 3 starter receivers. So guys like Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, they were young at the time, but they were still talented, still very skilled. But we went with kind of the older group, and, you know, Garrett kind of got in a little bit. Chris worked his way in a good bit. But, shoot, just having – like all of those weapons there, like, you know, it's really the quarterback's, you know, dream to go to a place like that to where they, you know, emphasize, you know, throwing the ball downfield, just throwing the ball in general. And then we also had a good O-line and good running backs. You know, we had J.K. there too, J.K. And then my second year we had Trey Sermon come along. So, like we had a stacked receiver room to where, shoot, the first year I was there, we had a bunch of guys. They were, you know, best. I don't know if they were as physically gifted as Garrett and guys like Chris, but I mean, they were still skilled, still very, you know, detailed with their technique and stuff, because, you know, Coach Hartline's going to get them right and stuff like that. But I mean, shoot, it was great. I think not only for me, but for, you know, guys like Garrett and Chris to learn from them and stuff like that. And then, shoot, my second year, that's when we had Garrett, Chris, Jamison Williams, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like, I mean, so
What's
more
the best
time,
one? Who's the best one you play with?
You can't name one.
Like
You
kids, you can't
because
pick
they all have different styles. So it really just depends on what style you want more. Like Jamison and Chris, they're gonna take the top off. But Garrett, pure route running. Garrett and Jackson, like boom, 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 shiftiness, body control. Like those are the 2 for them. So it's just like it just depends what kind of receiver you want.
Okay, so the practice week goes on. Who's asking for the ball the most?
Who's asking for the ball the most? I feel like at the time,
you know how the wide receivers get.
Yeah. At the time, Garrett and Chris were getting the ball the most. Jamison, I don't think at the time they're like coaches didn't really believe in him that much. So, you know, he had to kind of clear our routes. He was already fast. So, I mean, shoot, if the defense wants to play low or, you know, they're in a certain coverage, you can alert the, you know, post or a certain route to him. But most of the plays were meant for Garrett and Chris, for sure.
What's the one game you highlight in your career at Ohio State?
Definitely the Sugar Bowl. Second year, we played Clemson. I think that was probably my best game. And then I think secondly, we played at the Big House. That was a good game too. You know, only played the team up north once, but came out with the dub. So this guy.
Thanks, appreciate it. Let's just talk about that Sugar Bowl game. You were dropping dives in that Sugar Bowl game. The deep ball was beautiful in that game. We don't need to talk about Ann Arbor. We're good.
And it's versus Clemson's versus Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
That was just
that whole build up, bro. From like the first time we played him to how we lost. You know, through a game-ending pick. Chris thought I was scrambling to left, turned out, I'm throwing the ball. He thought I left the pocket. Boom, pick, game over.
Oh.
Came back in the same spot next year. I mean, shoot, they had the scoreboard the whole offseason right there. So, just getting ready for us to get back on the stage, get back at that moment, and for it to be against the same opponent, like, I know I was probably locked in more than ever. Like, just, when you're in a certain flow state or certain, like, mental space where it's like you're ready to go, like, nothing was stopping me that game. Like, I got hurt, boom, like, nah, bro, I gotta finish the game. So, yeah, that was definitely probably, I think, my favorite game, and just the situation coming from with it, how we lost the year before, and then, of course, had a convincing win that day, and went on to the Natty after that, so it was cool.
I'm old now, but there's got to be a group chat between you, the wide receivers, the new quarterbacks, all the Ohio State guys in the league now. Is there?
Mm-mm.
None.
Not. You talking about just all the guys I was there with? Nah, there's not.
What?
Ohio
We
State
all
doesn't
just
have that family bond. I guess that's more of a joke.
Nah, I mean,
Okay,
we-
calm
they
down.
don't
Calm
have
we
family
down.
bond.
we all hate each other up, but like, there's no like group chat. I don't even think even there was a group chat. I mean, there probably was, but
He wasn't in it. He wasn't
He
in
wasn't
it.
in the group chat. He's got to be in the group
He's
chat.
the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
nah, I mean, there probably was to like go out and do stuff, hang out and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
but there wasn't a group chat that we were just in, like just sitting whatever in. But we definitely hit up each other and check up on each other.
Yeah. We got to move on to Pittsburgh Steelers. Come here. We trade for you. Exciting. How are you dealing with the controversy of the quarterback room? Because I know that has got to be a lot you got to deal with. From Russ's side, your side. Like, how do you guys tune out that stuff?
Yeah, I think kind of from the moment we got here, I think we both done a good job of balancing the leadership. I think you're in the team. We have two different leadership styles to where Russ is super vocal, super boom boom boom, always talking like each and every day, to where it's like I like to kind of make my rounds kind of behind the scenes, try to go talk to guys individually, see how they feel and da. But I think we've done a great job balancing that part of it, and of course we both know where we come from. Of course, he's been in the league, this is year 13 or 13 for him now. So for me personally, I'm just trying to learn as much from him as I can, because at the end of the day, like, he's had so much success, he's seen so many defenses, he's played so much ball, to where I know if I can just pick up on how he prepares, how he goes throughout his week, what he does to recover and stuff like that. And like, even on his call sheet before the game, like I literally took a picture before, I think it was either before our last preseason game or week one, just, how he takes his notes, his kind of reminders that he puts on the call sheet. Like, it's very detailed and stuff like that. So in terms of, him being in the room with me, like, I love it personally, just because there's definitely a learning aspect, and really just how he goes about it every day. Like, we have some guys that might kind of like look at him funny just on how he just operates sometimes. Like, we always joke with him on how he used to wear the big knee pads out at practice on just like a we got him to change that though, but we used to joke with him about that. So but I mean, just how he carries himself, like, day in and day out, is him, and it's not fake. Some people think it's fake looking from the outside in, like, oh, he just wants, like, I saw something on Twitter the other day on saying, oh, he's not playing, but he's out here doing pregame stuff. Like, that's him, but they don't know that. Like, they think he's looking for attention, but that's really him, like, each and every day. So it's like, you can't knock a person for that.
Exactly.
His love for the game, how he approaches each
authentic.
and every day, like, it's really authentic. So I think that inspires me, and that just inspires me to be better and push myself each and every day to not take a day off to be great. So I mean, Russ has been great for me so far, and he's been nothing but help. Like, I can ask him a question and he's going tell me what he thinks, and he's always a big he just just always cheering the guys on, even his time
big
being
supporter.
out. Yeah, a huge supporter. So it's been great having him in the room for sure.
I will say one thing with your leadership that I just saw the other day. We're in the middle of practice. It's towards the end. We're doing like a third down period, and you pull Beanie Bishop over to the side.
Yeah.
And you just explain to him what you were looking at and how he should try to hide his coverage a little bit more, or his blitzing. And I just thought that was very cool, because not everybody gets to be, loud and, share with the group, but sometimes it's more individual, like you said. So, I think that goes a long way too.
Yeah.
It's sometimes behind the scenes as much as it is, in front of the cameras and stuff.
Have you seen that before? Have you seen other quarterbacks go to other DBs and kind of say, this is what I was looking for? And
Well, Ben was very good at that. And I think there's a lot of people that have leadership. It's not just come from the quarterback position, but, I remember every time there was a scout that was just watching AB the entire practice. Yeah. And they were like, AB, every time you mess with your gloves, they know you're getting the ball.
Yeah.
And he was like, I ain't never think of that. And Ben, we would talk to Ben, and so once he was under center, when he would go like this, we could see his hands move. We knew you could jump the snap.
Yeah.
And so there was little things like that you just, it's not going to be given from a coach. It's got to be given from a player. So, there's little things like that. Yeah. What's it like with Arthur Smith?
Yeah, I mean, he's great. Kind of before I got here, I just known him as a competitor. I don't know if I told you this, but I've told some other guys on offense that the past 2 years we played him in Chicago when he was in Atlanta. I mean, he's a trash talker, dog. Like,
What'd he say?
He's talking crazy. Like,
what did he say to you?
I forgot what he said to me last year, but he's always chirping. Like, every time I've played him, he's always chirping, yelling. Like, he's like, we know what they're doing. Da 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 da. Like, he's a running back. Like my second year, I just remember saying, God damn it, like something like that. And, like he can get riled up a little bit. But that year we were doing like a lot of the same stuff on third down, to where we were doing like a lot of QB sweeps, boom, catch and just run to the right. So it's like, damn it, how do we know it's not going? Like, he's a damn running back. Like, boy, like, he cracked me up. Then last year we were whooping up on him pretty bad, and I think he was just trying to say something slick, but I don't remember exactly what he said. But I was definitely talking back too, because it's just we were just from the year before. But nah, I mean it's been great with him so far. Just his competitive spirit, and he's really smart. Definitely knows how to kind of detail plays to his player's strengths. So that's always good to have in an OC and stuff like that. So it's been great, and I'm kind of just still learning each other each and every day, and kind of how he operates in the game. But everything's been smooth, and he's been awesome and very detailed and stuff with his work, so it's been awesome.
What's been the one guy who you've been surprised with since you've been here?
One guy player-wise that I've been surprised with? I'm not going to lie. We played Atlanta week 1. I've never seen players take over the game like TJ did. I'm not going to lie. Like, when I saw that, it was just, his pregame speech, bro. I don't know if he's done that before.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Wait, what?
Bro,
it's a lot.
It was lit. Like, I felt like I was in a movie, dog. Like, it was crazy, because I'm just nobody. I know I didn't expect that when he threw his helmet down and yelled.
Oh yeah, but that's TJ. That's TJ.
Bro,
like,
I've never seen that. Like, I didn't expect that coming. So I'm like, I'm ready to go. After that, I'm ready to go. Like, it was crazy.
Cam's ready to laugh. Justin's ready to go.
Because I've seen it so much. So
you've
TJ
seen it a
will
lot.
work himself up and then not be able to talk.
Okay.
So like, you'd be like, bro, calm down. So like the guys who've been here, I'll be looking at them and be like, TJ on it today.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yeah, let's just teach.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that was my first time I've heard him talk or pregame speech, quote unquote. But like, when he did that, I was ready to go, bro. I was like, I try to stay calm, cool, collected before the game, because I don't want to get too riled up, just because I gotta just stay even keel or whatever. But after that, like, that had me ready to go.
So there's not been a game where you've just been super hyped and like,
I almost since don't even like my pregame speeches would probably be more like yours, so where you're kind of like more chill with it, But I almost don't like doing them just because like. I like to stay even keeled, chill, calm throughout the whole time. But
well, it's like my pregame speech is right before the prayer, so I can't go crazy.
You're not go crazy, and then boom, But I do like yours though, for sure.
Oh, thanks.
Yours are nice. You get everybody thinking like,
Oh, thanks.
But TJ gets him ready, it sounds like. TJ gets him ready.
TJ gets you ready. Like,
you don't even know what TJ said.
I was ready to run through it all. Like, after he did that, I saw pieces fly off the helmet. I'm like,
he threw his helmet?
Yeah, he threw his helmet down.
It was crazy. It was lit. It was crazy.
It is.
It was crazy.
Explain what it's like playing with a guy like George Pickens.
GP. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most talented receivers I've played with, and I play with a lot of talented guys. just the catches that he makes in practice every day. I mean, he makes crazy catches look routine. And, whenever you can have a receiver that you can throw it up and trust like that and just give a chance, and most of the time that he's going to come down with the ball, it makes my job way easier to where it's like, if all else failed and I scramble, I get in a situation kind of like last week versus Denver, the play that got called back. I mean, take off downfield, throw it up one-on-one. He's most likely going to come down with the ball. I mean, the way he tracks the ball, the way he, runs his route, just his catch radius, just in general, is crazy. So he's definitely one of the most talented receivers I've played with. And the crazy thing is, I first met him when I was in high school. I played on Cam Newton's 7-on-7 team, and he was the exact same way. Like, he literally does the same stuff now that he was doing back then.
So he's been a freak since high
he's
school.
Looks the exact same. Like,
really,
I don't even think much has changed, but he's doing the same stuff he was doing back then. So,
were you fighting at the Cam Newton camp?
I wasn't. I saw the
I couldn't avoid it.
It was crazy, dog. And I know both of the guys that were in the fight, so it was just even funnier me laughing. Just if you knew that, like, behind the curtain, beef behind all of it, like, it was just laughing more.
How you gonna fight at Cam Newton's camp? He's trying to put it on, bro. Like, what we doing, bro?
And then they tried to jump my man Cam, so it's just. But I mean, he's big. Like, he got one in the head live.
I was gonna say he handles himself really well.
Cam threw them boys
But
down.
I think that's one of those things that people don't realize, that how big these guys are. Like, you don't realize how big like Eli and Peyton Manning are. Cam Newton is a huge person.
They knew what they were getting into, bro. I'm telling you, the people that jumped him, they've known each other for years.
Well, that's on them.
They've had the 7-on-7 beat. It's just 7-on-7 beat. That's all. You get the tournaments. Growing up in Atlanta, like, bro, they like to talk trash. So
That's all we do is talk
talking, and it just got to a point to where it was hot, and they just said, "That's."
Can we expect you in a ski mask with George Pickens?
Nah, I'm not a ski mask kind of guy.
You're not?
Broad tried to get me in a ski mask. He's like, "Where during practice?" I'm like, "Y'all not gonna be able to hear me at the line of scrimmage in the huddle. I can't. Y'all gotta be able to see my lips, like when I'm yelling out the play and stuff like that, especially when it gets loud in there." So nah, I'm not really a ski mask guy.
All right, so we're on fashion now. Best dressed on the team.
Best dressed on the team, I gotta go with Deshaun Elliott.
Elliott.
I think Deshaun puts it on. For sure.
Okay. Worst dressed.
Worst dressed on the team.
I know we got some candidates.
We do have a good amount of candidates.
It's funny. It's the same names for best and worst every time, though.
It is.
Worst. I don't know, because I'm not going to say worst.
Just say it, bro.
I don't know, though.
You have a name. He's got a name.
He just
He's
doesn't
got
I
a
have
name.
two different. Like,
explain them.
I got two different mindsets when it comes to this, because it's like sometimes, all right, I like to get dressed up, whatever, before the game.
Yes.
And then sometimes, like, I like to be comfortable. So, shoot, the first few road trips we had, I was just in the team sweatsuit. So it's like, I'm not going to do that. But I don't know. The worst dress on the team?
There's one guy you got to be like, bro.
I mean, I say James. My boy James Daniels is definitely.
His name is mentioned a lot.
Definitely
He's mentioned a lot.
The O-line has been mentioned a lot.
It has. Herbig, Daniels. There's a guy on the defensive side of the ball who was mentioned quite a bit too, though.
I'm not mentioning that name. I got in trouble. I'm not gonna do
But
that.
James is nice and preppy, like Fred. Like, he keeps it nice and clean, so I can respect that from James. But James is just overall, he's hilarious. So.
All right.
He's hilarious.
Oh, we forgot to ask this.
What?
Your sister committed to Michigan.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh my God.
So you will be wearing the Mason blue.
No.
I will not be.
No, we are not.
If she makes the national championship in basketball, you will not wear it to support her.
I will be wearing a black shirt.
My guy. I appreciate it.
That is offensive.
I appreciate it.
That is
I already
offensive.
told her that. When she called me and told me that she committed, I hung up the phone. I said.
You didn't call Columbus immediately and say, "How did we let this happen?"
Nah, I didn't. I don't know, but shoot, it is what it is. But
when I would go to Michigan State, it's not like I was wearing Michigan State stuff. Like,
I'm not there for the team. I'm there for her at the end of the day. So I'll be putting on a black shirt, or I might even pull out a red shirt. Like, I don't.
No. You gotta represent her. You gotta represent her.
I know if they play Ohio State, I will be wearing Ohio State stuff to the game. But
that's your sister.
Was she excited to tell you and rub it in?
She was a little bit, but she also knew. I was like, because I knew what her top three were. Her top three were Michigan, Northwestern, and then Georgetown. So it's like the best balance between those schools, between basketball and school, is
she's my favorite
right
member
there,
of the Fields family. Just so you know, I'm sorry, she is my favorite member. I will be
Don't start that.
I will. I'm gonna get a Fields jersey, a women's basketball jersey now. All right, so just
Hey,
to
yo,
support.
that's awesome.
She needs someone. He ain't gonna wear it, so I gotta
Yeah,
support.
trust me, I'm not wearing it.
Yeah.
You gonna wear high school
Yeah,
jersey before you wear the college jersey.
For real.
Let's go through some quick questions here, and then we'll wrap up. Who do you like? It's our Who Do You Like More segment, right?
Okay.
It's gonna be either Pittsburgh, Chicago, or Columbus, or Athens.
Okay.
All right. Food, Pittsburgh or Chicago.
Chicago.
Okay. Food, Columbus or Athens.
Columbus.
Ooh. Okay. Coaching, Pittsburgh or Chicago.
Pittsburgh.
That was it.
It's not close.
Come on.
Coaching, Athens or Columbus.
Columbus.
Okay. Teammates, Columbus or Athens.
It's tough. I gotta go with Columbus though. I have to.
There you go. Pittsburgh or Chicago.
Pittsburgh.
There we go. And last one.
All right, that's one we got.
Last one. Me or Hayden?
What? Come on. That's not. We haven't got to build our rapport yet. Okay.
Yeah, but just based on what I know about you right now, I gotta go with my boy.
Perfect.
Just
That's
'cause who
based
you
on what
support,
you based on what you know.
who you
Hold
support,
on.
What teams you like?
Based on
just
what
so
you know,
how long I know.
Give
I
me
gotta
6
go.
months and we'll become best friends. I
All right.
promise you. Okay. Give me 6 months.
see.
Okay. We'll revisit this in 6 months.
All right. I ain't trying to hear all
Yes.
that.
Okay.
Okay. Best Ohio State quarterback of all time.
Of all time, I gotta go with Troy Smith. Shoot, he won the Heisman. Troy Smith or
Can't be Stroud.
There's some dudes,
He
man.
never
You
beat
got-
Michigan. You can't beat it if you never beat
I
Michigan.
think at the time
Can't
you
do
can't
it.
put CJ up there.
There's been
think-
some dudes, man.
Troy or Terrell was nice too.
Terrell, Braxton Miller.
Braxton, yeah, like
It's Troy. It's Troy.
it's
Smith.
probably
Troy,
It's
Troy's
Troy
probably
Smith.
the guy.
Troy or who's the other one? That number 12.
JT?
Nah, not JT. You're thinking of. He was an old quarterback. That's why I don't know his name.
Todd Beckman?
Nah.
No.
I was just saying
wait.
Todd Beckman.
Nah, he's an older quarterback. That's why I don't know his
Todd
name.
Beckman.
Oh, is he talking about
Not Craig Krenzel. He was 16.
not Krenzel?
That might be it. That might be who I'm talking about.
Krenzel?
No, not Craig Krenzel.
No.
Maybe.
Hop
I don't know.
along,
They
Cassidy.
always bring up
Hop along,
somebody.
Cassidy?
I don't know. They always bring up somebody like
Cassidy. You pulled
from back in the day who I just
Yeah.
don't know who were like. You don't know who this guy is? Like, nah, I don't. But yeah, so maybe him. But
I'll say this, and we can wrap up to this. When I went to Ohio State and I started meeting like the older players, the only person I was ever like shocked to meet, and I was like, man, this dude is huge. Orlando Pace.
yeah, I heard
Bro.
he was huge.
His hands just went like that, and I was like, hey, yo, chill out. But
Nah, was he bigger than DeJuan Jones?
Yeah.
For the Browns. He
Yes.
was bigger than him?
Yes.
Yeah.
God, he's like 6'8", isn't he?
yeah, and he's like, it's like, you would thought this guy just retired, though. That was the crazy part. Like,
Yeah.
Orlando Pace hadn't played for like 20 years. So I felt like out of place.
Yeah. That's
But-
crazy.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you coming on. I want to say thank you to Justin for
Appreciate
coming
y'all
on the
for
show. We got a game this week. When people see this, we should be 3-0. But, Justin, we are very appreciative of your time, and, excited what you're doing on the field. Excited to have you as a teammate, and just excited to continue to keep knowing you from here on out.
Me too.
All right, and that's been another episode, Not Just Football. I want to say thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.